Hey guys, it's Tim Shermack, and welcome back to another episode of the Platform Marketing Show. I'm joined again by Brandi Long today. Brandi, welcome back
Thank
to
you
the
so much.
show.
I feel so honored to be sitting here with the Walt Disney Trivia Master
International Walt Disney
International.
Trivia Champion. I technically have won awards in multiple countries. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think it's actually your third episode. I mean, I think we've never had anyone do 3 episodes on the Platform
Oh
Marketing Show.
my
So
gosh, I
yeah,
feel honored.
you should. Yeah. And, we were texting, I don't know, a month or two ago, and you kind of shared with me that, hey, our team closed 155 transactions this year. I mean, you personally did over 120 of those closings. There's not a lot of realtors in the
Mhm.
United States of America that are personally closing over 120 transactions in a year, right? Like
Mhm.
that's a pretty small group. And what I find fascinating about that and why we wanted to bring you back on the show, as if that wasn't enough, is that you're doing all this without the structure of a traditional team. So we're not saying, hey, Brandi closed 120 some transactions and actually she had a bunch of buyer's agents or showing assistants or it's other people doing all the work. It is truly Brandi closing those deals, but where you've applied the concept of team or the concept of leverage is in all the other areas of your life that now you don't have to stress about. So before we get into all that, give me kind of the foundational lay of the land. Where is your business at? How long have you been in the platform marketing program? What do the volume and transactions look like this last year? Just to give people an idea of where you've been and where you're at. And then we'll dive into kind of what your secret sauce is to make it all
Yeah.
work.
I am in Southwest Florida in DeSoto County, and I've been with Platform for about a year and a half, I believe, or a little bit over. And the business has definitely grown. Like you said, we already had a successful business before Platform, but adding Platform, it just added fuel to the fire. I know we always say that, but that's literally the metaphor. It is what it is. And one thing that I did realize last year, and I haven't even told you, is that when I look back at 2024 or 2023, however many years before that, because this is my 11th year in real estate, it's like we listed a lot of homes and land. I'm talking little tiny lots, and so those count toward those transactions, which is great because that leads to other business. But last year was my first full calendar year with Platform, and we closed a record number of houses. The listing tours, that's really the moneymaker of it all.
Yep.
Platform. Now we list way more homes than land. We still have land
Right.
listings, but that's better volume. That's greater commissions, right? So that is really kind of where we landed last year, and we did have a lot of growth last year, and I do attribute a lot of that from Platform.
I have my phone pulled up here. I'm looking in our text conversations. So I know you texted me. Okay, here we go. 2024, you did 121 closings. This year, the team did 155 closings. So basically, since joining Platform in your full calendar year, you did about 35 additional closings as a team that you didn't do, and the actual volume increased by 7 million. So we usually tell people that the cost of Platform is about 1 million a year in sales volume. It's probably like 1.2 or something like that, but it's about 1 million. So if we help you sell an extra $1 million a year of sales volume, Platform has essentially paid for itself.
Yeah, Platform has paid for itself for like 10 years for me. So,
Well, yeah, that's good because just last year it looks like you're up, 7 million from the
yeah,
and who knows where you'll go in the future.
right.
So I wanted to kind of give people that overview of where you're at, that not only are you super successful now, but you were really, really successful even before the platform marketing program. As you said, it's basically just like walking over to a bonfire that's already lit and like dumping some gasoline on it. That's where your business was at.
Yeah,
But what I find interesting is we're not going to talk about sales and marketing and business growth on this particular episode.
right.
I wanted to actually focus on the personal life and the time management and the productivity side of things, because a lot of people are hearing this and they're like, okay, you sold 120 some homes last year by yourself. And they're kind of
Mhm.
thinking like, that's bullshit. Like, how did you actually do it? Are you lying about having a team or whatever? Because how
Yeah.
could you possibly have time to do all that and still be a mom and a wife? And
Mhm.
I don't know, are you cooking and cleaning, or do you bring your kids to church or extracurricular activity? I know you
Right.
have kids, right?
Yeah.
Are they in sports or dance or volleyball or football? How do you possibly do all the other things that we call life
Mhm.
while selling 120 homes a year? Because I could see how you could do that if you sell 30 homes a year or
Yep.
40 or 50, but 120 is almost like, I'm
Yeah.
sure people are skeptical, frankly, of
Sure.
like, do
Sure.
you have a life outside of real
Yeah.
estate?
Yeah. That's one of my biggest questions that I get asked. Like, are you on a team? Do you run a team? And to me, the answer is so tricky because even on social media, from a positioning or marketing standpoint, I do use the word team because we do have a team here, but it's not
Sure.
the real estate team. I am a solo agent and we kind of run it like a team. But I feel like the way I do business is not for everyone, okay? Because I take a huge profit loss because of how many people we have around us, right? If you look at the top producer of a team, of a regular real estate team, and they're closing 150 deals a year, they're most likely going to get paid more than what I get paid, right? But the quality of my life is exactly the way I want it to be, and I get paid what I want. And that is
Which
what makes it successful.
and which is ultimately all that matters, because
Yep.
who
Yep.
cares if you
Mhm.
sell 120 homes or if you sell 200 homes a
Yep.
year if you have no friends and you hate your life and you're stressed all the time. So, okay, what does that look like? What does your team structure look like? What are the areas of your life or your business that you've applied leverage and you hired people? Let's get into some of the specifics of what this looks like for you.
Okay. So, first of all, it is me. I work between 40 and 50 hours a week. I love work. I used to work 80 to 90 hours a week. So, this is taking a big cut.
Yeah, you're working 40 to 50 hours a week, a nice part-time job.
Yes, exactly. But it's what I love. I've designed the life that I love, right? And so that's good. And then we have my mom. My mom is the broker of the company. She is my director of operations. So she also is licensed. So basically, once we get an offer in on one of our listings, she will take it from there. So I literally just chime in like, oh my gosh, I heard we have an offer. Michelle's going to reach out to you here soon. I just get to do all the parts that I love. She gets to do all the parts that she loves. So we've designed it to where everyone is working with their strengths. And so basically, I take the phone call. I do all the marketing. I'm mainly a listing agent. I don't do a lot with buyers. So my strengths are marketing. My strengths are lots of energy in the beginning and getting the listing agreement signed. So that's kind of where I stay at in my lane. And then it gets handed off to my mom. So she's also licensed. So
Okay.
that's two of us. Then we have Joy. She is my front desk office assistant. She answers the phone. We still have like a brick and mortar. We still have a lot of walk-ins and phone calls. I tell everyone Arcadia, my little town, is like 20 years behind everyone. So we still get fax every now and then. And so
That's
she
hilarious.
is here answering the phone. She's like the gatekeeper. She's scheduling appointments for me if need
You
be.
have to pay someone to man the fax machine. Yep.
I do. Yeah, someone's got to do it. And then we also do property management here at our office. I will never give a presentation about property management because I despise it, but that is leveraged out. Okay.
Yep.
So we've got Aisha, and she is 40 hours. Joy is 40 hours. Aisha is 40 hours. They are paid hourly. And Aisha does all of our mailers, and she also does the property management. So making sure tenants pay on time, all of that stuff.
Yep.
Then we've got Candace. Candace is my full time personal assistant. She works 40 hours a week and she helps me with content, like taking pictures, like going everywhere for me, running errands, like paying bills, all of that kind of stuff. Whatever we need to do, if she needs to go pick up lunch, take dry cleaning, everything. She also sends out newsletters. She can keep our CRM updated, all of that. She's 40 hours. Then we have our virtual assistant, which is Carlos. He is the man. He is in the Philippines and we love him to death. He is 40 hours a week. He is the person that gets everything on the computer, all the systems, everything. If we have an issue with our Google ads or anything like that, he is going to fix it. So he works 40 hours a week as well.
Go Carlos.
Carlos is amazing. I swear. He's like the most recent addition to our team and he's literally awesome.
I'm going to ask you too. You can keep going, but I want to ask, how much are you paying these people? Like, what does their salary look
Yeah,
like?
I can. Okay, so I'm just looking at my list. So two full-time in-office admins, Joy and Aisha, they get paid between $20 and $22 an hour.
Okay. That's mostly on the property management side of things that they're working, right?
Aisha is the property management side, and then Joy is here in the office, just manning the office, answering phone calls, all of that, handling
Fax
walk-ins,
machine.
notarizing, fax machine girl. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
And then my mom, I can't disclose what she gets paid, but she's based off commission, so she gets a portion of the commission that I bring in. And then we have Carlos. That cost me $17.99 a month for 40 hours a week.
Oh, so you're actually paying him a lot then.
Yeah.
Are you using company
Company.
or did you hire directly?
Yeah, I used a company. And I'm glad I did. They're a good buffer. They provide a lot of good resources for Carlos as well.
Cool.
Mhm.
Cool.
Candace is my full time. She's $18 an hour. We're about to move her up to $20 an hour. And then we have a full time transaction coordinator. So the buyer or the seller, that gets passed on to the buyer or the seller, but that fee is about $325 a file because we do so
Okay.
many. We also have John. He is a part-time whenever we need to put signs out, stuff out. If my husband or my son isn't available, he's there to do the running. So that is like the whole office crew. And then we have my personal house crew.
So what would the answer be if you don't sell a single house in a given month? Like, what are the costs of you running your business? Just with all the payroll and the, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what's your monthly break even point?
it's about $27,000 a month.
Okay. So if it's like, let's say 25, that's a round number. That's 300 grand a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because 25,000 a month times 12. So building out that team means that you have to be doing a fair amount of volume to justify having that team. Another thing that I guess I'll just say out loud, because I'm sure some people listening to this are already thinking this, is those salaries seem really low. Like, I don't know if I could find talent in my area for $20 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think how I would answer that is like, well, Brandy's in a market where a lot of the homes are still
Yeah.
$200,000, $250,000.
Mhm.
So if you're in a market where the homes are $500,000, like the commission is therefore double, meaning you have money to pay people a lot
Yeah,
more.
it's all
So,
relative. It's all
right,
relative. Like
right,
we our average price point's like $215,000.
exactly,
It's pretty
exactly.
low. So like $20 an hour here, that's a good paying job here locally. And
Well, it means even if in even if in theory you were just selling 300,000 or $315,000 homes, not a huge difference, but then you could afford to in theory pay people 25 $30 an hour if it was a little bit higher. So if you're in a market, let's say where homes are 400,000, 450,000, in theory you could pay your people 30 to $40 an hour, and
absolutely,
the math is all the same because it's literally just a
yeah.
percentage, right?
And the goal is always to, like, I feel like I'll just go into like my limiting mindset before. My limiting mindset was that if you hustle hard enough and you do it all yourself, it's a badge of honor. And that is cannot be like further from the truth. And so to me, like I think of the better we do as an office, and you'll hear me use, you won't ever like you'll hear it sometimes, but like most of the time I'm using inclusive language, like we, like our team, like
Yeah,
all
yep.
of us, like it's just we. They the better we do or the better I do in production, the better we all do. So the goal is to always pay people more every year and to give really wild bonuses and to give like flood them with gifts and just know that they're appreciated. And to create a culture where it's like people enjoy as much as you can enjoy
Yep.
coming to work.
Yep. Yep.
So that's kind of the basis behind it. But how cool of a mindset is it to have like, because I get to do my strengths, then I get to employ seven other people to do their strengths. And that, it's a blessing to all of us.
That's the team on
That's
the
that's the office.
on the business side of things, right?
Mhm.
But you also have built up kind of like a team structure, and you've applied this idea of leverage to your personal life,
Mhm.
which is something I haven't seen a lot of realtors do in the way that you have done. And this is what I think you're doing differently from so many other agents, because of course there's many agents out there that have an admin assistant or people that have a TC or people that have a buyer's agent, whatever. You're not necessarily unique in that you've done that. What
Right.
is really cool that you've done that is genuinely unique is what we're going to talk about next. So what does like the personal life
Yeah.
side of things look like for you?
So, um, a lot of people have lawn care people. I do have a lawn care company that we employ. They come every week. We're in Florida, so especially during rainy season, they're coming all the time.
Right.
They keep up with all the lawn care, and we live on 5 acres, so it's a lot to keep up with. And then I have a weekly car detailer. Obviously, if you're going to go out to appointments, and I also like you can kind of imagine since our price point is $215,000, it is very familiar for me to go down a country back road in my car and it gets filthy and it's just always dirty. So I do have like a car detailer that comes every week. He gets paid $70 each week. And then my favorite gift to myself last year was to hire a house manager. And this is like it was the gift to myself because I just couldn't keep up with laundry. And the time I was trying to spend with my family was like, hey, tell me how your day was. Let's sit and fold laundry while we talk. And it just
Right.
wasn't like
Right.
great.
Right.
And I have, my kids are 14, 13. They clean their own room. They can do their own laundry. That's not the laundry I'm talking about. They do their own laundry. I'm talking about my personal stuff, like making sure all my Amazon packages are returned. I have no idea how many times I've just let stuff sit and all of that money go to waste because I didn't return it to Amazon.
Or
And
even like in like our house with Amazon packages, I can say the amount of time that we spend opening stuff
yes,
and then cutting up the boxes
yep,
and so that we can fit them in the recycling thing,
yep,
because when you get enough packages you can't just throw them in. Like,
yep.
you have to actually take a scissors or knife and
Mhm.
flatten and cut the boxes. Like,
Yeah,
the amount of
yeah.
time we spend on that, and then when I look at like what me and my wife's time is technically worth per hour compared to our income, it's like, ooh, we should
Doesn't
be
make
doing
sense.
this. Yeah.
No, no, for sure. And like she will also, every time my clothes come out of the dryer, like she'll make sure they're steamed and ironed so that in the morning when I pick out my outfit, I just throw it on and then go. It just like that. I was feeling that when I was coming home at night and there was still dinner to cook, there was still dishes to clean up, there was still laundry to do, my cortisol levels on a scientific level was get like really crazy high and
Right.
I
Right.
immediately tense up. I cannot serve my family as best as I can in that role. Like I had to hire it out because I mean, even if you go like to scientific, like I'm operating in my masculine energy all day, trying to be a boss. And then at
Right.
home, if I have to come home and
Yep.
be a boss there, I'm just drained. And so basically she does all of that laundry. She'll go grocery shopping for us. She'll meal prep for us. That's something that I'm still trying to get better at because that makes me have to plan, and
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
not there yet. But she did holiday shopping for us. She wrapped gifts. Like everything was just done
It's
and
really
taken
like a
care of.
full-time personal assistant type,
It literally
helping
is.
with everything around
Yeah, she's there
everything
to
around the
like, we
house.
had to get a new dish or new dryer. She was there to take the dryer and like sign off on it. She makes sure like if we run out of toilet paper, she's going to the store or going on Amazon and ordering
Yeah.
that right away.
And
Like she's
is
just,
is that person full-time, or how many hours are they working?
right now she's working 20 hours, but I'm about to bump her
Okay.
up because I want her to do more meal prep. Like, and
Okay.
I feel like like just even to like pack lunches for me, not my
Yep.
kids. They're kind of on their own because they're old enough. Like, I'm not
And how
paying
much
someone to do.
how much
She is $20 an hour.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
That's actually approximately what I've heard from a lot of people that have house managers, is they're paying
Yeah.
somewhere between 20 and 20 and 20 and 25 an hour. So
I'd pay 30. I'd pay so much more. And
I won't tell her.
I'm just like, I'm about to bump your hours up and I don't care how much more it costs me, but it is such a
Yeah.
lifesaver. I mean, obviously you have to be very careful because this person's living in your house. They
Sure.
know everything about you. There's nothing
Yep.
off
They're
limits.
they're they're not actually living with you. It's
No,
not like a live-in though.
no,
Like, they go home,
no. They
obviously.
go
Like,
home.
okay,
They
yeah.
go home.
So
Yeah.
it is something that's like culturally interesting,
It is.
because no one says this out loud. You're not supposed to say this. It's probably a politically incorrect to say this, but like, over the last, I don't know, 50 years, 75 years, whenever, as women started to work more in the workplace and we moved away from this old school, Americana, hey, the husband goes to work and the wife is a homemaker and stays at home, right? However long that took, I don't know if it's 100 years, 75 years, whatever it's been. Um, Lots of women have careers now. I mean, you're absolutely killing it in your career, and yet nothing changed with the responsibilities of the house. Like, food still has to be cooked, clothes have to, like, laundry has to get done, the house has to get cleaned. All of that is still there, but it's not like husbands don't have careers anymore too. So what's created with so many families across the United States is, it used to be that the wife stayed home and did all this, and now, like, the wife has a full-time career, the husband has a full-time career, and they're both just scrambling to, like, I don't know, we got to have something for the kids for food tonight, or
Mhm.
we've got to
Yeah.
find some time to clean. And the answer is, for most families, and I'm speaking here from personal experience, like, a lot of it just means that stuff doesn't get done.
Yep.
Like, hey, we're just not going to cook a family meal tonight, or we're not going to have a clean house ever, or we're not going to do all this stuff. And just recently, in the last couple of years, I'm hearing from more and more of my more like successful friends, like, hey, we finally caved in. We hired a house manager for, 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 15 hours a week, whatever. And everyone says it's been life changing, because until they
Mhm.
had someone helping out, let's say 20 hours a week, they didn't realize how much stuff around the house wasn't being done poorly, but more just like they didn't realize how much stuff just wasn't getting done. Like
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, I forgot what it felt like
Yeah.
to have a clean house. Or I forgot what it
Yeah.
felt like to like not have to do laundry, or to,
Yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
I'm sure that's amazing. I'm jealous of you. And it's on my to-do list this year to follow in your footsteps and hire a house manager.
It is really nice to come home, open up the refrigerator, and it have your favorite drinks in there, and it
Yeah,
be
right.
clean, and there's
Right.
not sticky syrup on the shelf that you need to scrape up. Like that, those little things are so, they're so nice. And I think the hardest thing for me, the mindset switch was like, it was almost like I feel guilty of not doing these things
Right.
as a
It's like,
mom.
am I hoity-toity? Am I being condescending by
Mhm.
having someone do my laundry, or,
Yeah.
whatever?
But
Like,
when you,
I
yeah, when you like, when I was talking to my house manager, Sierra, she's like, you have no idea how big of a blessing this is. Like, that I don't need to work full time and I just need something like, I don't need 40 hours a week. I need some 20 to 30 hours a week. I love house organization. I love meal prepping. What I hate cooking, Tim. I've always hated cooking. Why would
Yep.
I make myself miserable? Why not work in my strengths, like my God given strengths, and let someone else have the privilege of working in their God given strengths and
Yeah,
get
exactly.
paid?
How you actually need to think about it is, if you're hoarding all of these responsibilities because you think well, I'm not too good to do my own laundry, or I'm not too good to cook my own meals. It's like you're actually robbing someone of a job who
Mhm.
otherwise could have a paying job,
Yep.
because your pride is getting in the way of, hiring someone to do your laundry, or hiring someone to run errands for you. Even this happened last week, like, and I actually like told this to my wife Bella, like, we needed to get an oil change, and I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And eventually we had a long drive up because we were going on a Disney cruise a couple weeks ago, and I realized,
Mhm.
what, before we drive 4 hours up to Port Canaveral from where it's actually like 4.5 hours from where we live, should probably get this oil change, because if our car blows up halfway there, we're out a lot of money if we don't make this cruise that we're
Yeah.
about to go on. So I should probably get that done beforehand. And it ended up, I had to do it at the last minute on a really busy day, and I had to go drive and sit in line at, Jiffy Lube, whatever. And it didn't actually take that long. Obviously, it took the whole thing from when I left the house, got back, was probably like an hour and 15 minutes. But like, I know the value of my time,
Mhm.
and my time is approximately worth $1,000 an hour.
Mhm.
So like, if I taken that oil change cost me $1,000 because
Yep.
I didn't have an assistant or have someone to go do it.
Yeah.
And as I'm hearing myself say this out loud, I'm like, oh man, I'm stupid for not having a house
Yeah.
manager, or like an assistant, or whatever you want to call it. Right.
Just some kind of help, just some
Correct.
leverage. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. And I thought leverage was like a luxury that I couldn't afford, but it's absolutely not. It's actually like I work better because I have leverage. Like I serve my clients so
Yeah.
much better.
Right.
Like
So
they're
what are
getting
some,
100% of the good brandy and not the stressed out brandy.
yeah. So what you just said there, I want to like, a double click on that, because that intangible part of that, I think, is a huge part of this equation. So
Mhm.
even if you have the hours in the day, like technically, let's say, like, for me, it's like lifting, like weightlifting. I always tell myself, hey, at the end of the day, the ideal time to lift is 4:30 p.m. Scientifically, that's when like your hormones peak or whatever as a guy, where you'll be able to lift the most weights at 4:30 p.m. And I used to do that when I was younger, and now it's like, well, at the end of a work day, after doing a podcast episode like this, we have another one later, and I'm just kind of like mentally doing all this stuff. Even if I'm technically free at 4:30 or 5 p.m., I don't have the mental energy to tackle something like that, even if my calendar is technically open. So I think what I hear you saying is that having a house manager, having an assistant, um, not only buys back time, but even the time you had before, you're more mentally free,
Mhm.
and you have emotional energy to where you're not like spending time with your family, but it's stressed time, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're actually are fully just present, right?
Yeah.
So you did this in the last year. You freed up about 20 hours a week of your time. It sounds like you're going to update that and hire them for more hours this year. And your business grew how much again in the last year?
We went from 121 closings I did personally in 2024. In 2025, I did 155 closings.
So obviously we can't attribute the exact causation to, some of it's better marketing, some of it's the market's different, some of it is you hired this and that, but like in that year we know you hired a house manager.
Yep.
So at least part of that lift in your sales growth is attributed to you have a house manager and now you were able to sell an extra 30 homes
Yes,
a year.
we brought last year when we had the big increase in business.
Yep.
We brought on Carlos, the VA, Candace, my full-time assistant, the house manager, and John, our part-time runner errand. Four more people employed last year so
Yep.
that we can serve more people.
And again, so like freeing up that time
Mhm.
in your life, whether it's running errands, whether it's being available to sign for packages being delivered, doing laundry, helping cooking, cleaning, meal prep. Like, what are some other random stuff around the house that they've done for you?
Organized all of my pantry,
Okay.
gone through all of our, like my full office. We still had like toys from my kids when they were younger, like board games. She
Yeah.
gives those
Yep.
away.
Yep.
Everything like from organization. She cleans my makeup brushes. Like it's literally little things like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
how long had it been since I cleaned my makeup brushes? Disgustingly too long. And so she will clean out the garage. She gets everything folded. She cleans, takes all the sheets off the bed, puts them back on the bed. All of that, does all my running. If I need anything like taken to me, if I forget my laptop at the house and I need her to bring it to work, like she's going to do that. Every I can't even tell you how much she does for me. It is that was my biggest and most rewarding hire.
Yeah. And again, like, even if it didn't grow your business at all, the reason you were doing it was to free up emotional energy to be with
Mhm.
your family. But it also coincided with your business. I mean, at your price point, your commissions are probably averaging what, six grand, let's say.
Yep.
And so an extra 30 transactions is $180,000 for you. And obviously, you're not paying your house manager anywhere near $180,000. So that's actually a lot of extra profit left over because of that free
It's
time.
wild how much more money and more business you'll have if you truly make yourself happy. Like if you can actually like really, what are my strengths?
Yep.
Okay, those are the only things I need to be doing at all. If it's
Yep.
not in my strengths, I have to leverage it out because then that leaves me in the genius zone, right?
Yep.
Like that
Yep. Yep.
only operating in what my strength is. If my strength is not like transactions, I'm going to find someone that I can leverage that out. I don't care how much it costs me because I'm going to be happier
Yep.
and that will in time bring me more business.
And this kind of gets into like the deep psychology of like sabotage. Is a lot
Yeah.
of like, I think the more successful you are, actually the more ambitious you are, the more prone you are to this. That most entrepreneurs, whether you're a real estate agent or any other sort of small business owner, you don't realize the extent to which, if your home life is kind of chaotic, and I don't mean like your marriage is bad or something, but like your home life is chaotic in the sense that there's not time to do the things that you need to do, like cooking, cleaning, all that, right? If your home life feels chaotic, you probably don't realize the extent to which at work you are subconsciously sabotaging the growth of your business, because deep down, again, at a subconscious level, you know that you wouldn't even be able to handle more business. And so you won't make extra calls to get new clients. You won't follow up with
Mhm.
leads. You won't do the things that, staying in touch with your database to like get more referrals. Like you won't do creative marketing to bring in more business, again, because deep down at a, like, you never consciously thought about this, but at a subconscious level, your brain and your soul, if you want to go that direction, right, knows that
Mhm.
you can't even handle more business because you're already way too busy. And so
Yep.
you'll institute these self-sabotaging behaviors to prevent your business from growing.
Mhm.
And that goes away instantly when you free up that energy, because if you have a house manager in this instance, and now you don't have to worry about coming home to a dirty house, it's always clean, there's groceries stocked, like the lawn is clean, there's not a bunch of Amazon packages to open, whatever. If that's all done for you, you realize like, oh, I actually can show up more powerfully at work and
Mhm.
grow this thing, because I'm not like compound interest is now working for me,
Mhm.
not against me,
Yeah. We are
right?
doing like we are doing too much in the name of like I have to do everything as a badge of honor. We are doing way too much as a society, and it is not a badge of honor like you think it is. A badge of honor is to literally have your version of success for you, and that can only be determined by you. And so, to me, I have a successful life, even though I do not make the amount of money I could. I have a happy family. I have a happy marriage. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that matters to me. Instead, I'd give up all the money in the
Yep.
world to have those things.
By the way, what was your GCI last year?
Just over a million.
Yeah. So again, like just to put an actual number on this, it's not like, oh man, she's made all these sacrifices to be a better, mom or wife or, whatever. So she's really underperforming financially so that she has a good family. It's like, no, you made $1
Yeah.
million last year, right? And a lot of that is because you hired this leverage, right? You didn't first make $1 million and then decide, oh, I want to
Yeah.
free up some time. Like the reason you got to the point in your business where it was able to generate $1 million profit for you was because you leveraged out
Yeah,
these
and even
responsibilities.
I will say, like, part of the first when I really got serious about leverage, my first, and you can go back and listen to my first podcast with you. I told you the reason I hired platform marketing was because of leverage. I could not keep up with the business page social media. I knew there was leverage in ads and ad spend, and I had to leverage that out. I thought I could do it myself. I can't. I have to leverage that out. And that is platform marketing was one of the first signs of leverage in my business.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Because again, like you were successful before, but seeing where
Mhm.
you've taken it now, and I know you've even, you run a coaching program now where you're kind of coaching other agents on how to design a life
Mhm.
that's similar to the one that you've designed for you and your family, where you're still making incredible money, but you not only have financial margin now, you have margin like with your loved ones, with your family and your life, and
Yeah.
that
And
matters.
and we didn't even go over like we've added four more agents at our office. So that's me and four other agents. They are literally drowning in leads because when I have more listings, that means more buyers. When they have more
Yeah.
listings, that means
Yep.
more buyers. We're just spreading around. Like, how many of our agents are going to make a record amount of money in 2026 because of the leverage that that's like
Yeah.
it's such a like a one small decision can have such a ripple effect. And I think that that's it. If you're only thinking about yourself and you're like, I should be doing the laundry, I should be doing this, it's you're self-sabotaging. You're not even thinking of the big picture. You're only thinking of now. Like, what does 2027 Brandy need me to do right now? Leverage.
Yeah. And growth is what creates those opportunities because
Mhm.
I think many people have a zero sum mentality about life where it's like, hey, how can I cut the pie into smaller pieces and then
Mhm.
pretend I've made more pie, right? It's
Yeah.
like, no, you have to grow the pie so that even technically you could own a smaller piece of it,
Mhm.
but you always want to own a smaller piece of a bigger pie because that's what gives you that lifestyle freedom. I've actually spoken about this at a lot of conferences where people don't realize, a platform marketing, I don't own 100% of it. We have business partners because I never want to be the one who's working 80 hours a week and answering the phone at 10 p.m. on a Friday night or working on a Sunday morning or Sunday evening. I want to have a team around me that allows me to still make, plenty of money and enjoy my life,
Yeah.
but have a life,
Yeah.
right? And I would rather own a slightly smaller piece, but then because I have that margin in my life, I can grow the pie much bigger. And paradoxically, I make more money owning a slightly smaller piece of a bigger
Mhm.
pie than wanting to own the entire pie, but then fighting over a
Yeah.
smaller pie.
When I at my the height of my business, one year it was me personally, I closed 186 transactions by myself, and I
It's
swore
crazy.
I would never do that again.
That's
I would
crazy.
never do that again because I ended up with an autoimmune disease because of the stress. The doctor told me it was directly in response to the stress, and there was no leverage in my business. And I looked at my husband that year and I said, it's either me or like the business. And so I will literally burn this business down to the ground if I have to do that again. I would rather just quit. I would rather just have my family than ever do it like that again. So I don't care how much it costs me to have this kind of life right now, I will pay it.
Again, the paradox is that you've paid it, you've
And I
invested in
still
it,
am making more money.
and now you're making more money, right? Because you own a slightly
Yeah.
smaller piece of a of a bigger pie. And it's going to continue growing too. There's not like a limit
Nope.
on that, because if you attract more agents and let's say, I don't know, your price point increases in the future, there's all sorts of different ways you can monetize that momentum, right? But like anyone listening, anyone watching on YouTube, I just don't want you to reverse cause and effect here, right? She didn't get the money to make these decisions because she worked hard and did it all herself. She made the decision to hire this stuff out and create the leverage in her life. And that's what actually helped her make more money, right?
Yep.
So it wasn't, oh, I'm so rich. Now that I'm so rich, I can afford to hire some of this stuff out. It's like you're reversing cause and effect. The
Yep.
reason her business is at this point and operating the way that it is because she made that decision way earlier on that, like, I want to have leverage. I want to have a house manager. I want someone who's cooking and cleaning in the house and doing the laundry and just taking those like mental tasks, even though they're not a big deal. It's not like you need a graduate degree to do laundry, right? Like no
Yeah.
one goes to school to do that for 10 years. But it's, it's not that you were incapable of doing it, right?
Right.
It's that just the mental load that creates mentally is enough to break a person if you're already working 80 hours a week in the business and then you come home and have to do a load of laundry, have to pretend to be excited to play with your kids, even though you're not. It's
Yeah.
like, leave me alone. I want to watch Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I have this saying that and all my team will tell you, I say it all the time. Like if someone asks me to do one more thing and I'm already full, I'm like, I'm at max capacity. You'll have to send it to next week. Like I'm at max capacity. And if I say I'm at max capacity too many times, it's time to hire someone else.
yeah. And again, like that's a really cool spot to be in, because then that growth just results in you creating more jobs for other people in the community who otherwise might not have
Yeah.
an opportunity
Yeah.
for that job. So, Brandi, any last parting advice you want to share with any agents, or even if you're not a realtor, any small business owners who happen to be listening to this
I will
episode?
say, as a real estate agent, your first hire should be a transaction coordinator. You do not have to do it all. Your buyer or seller can pay that fee for you where it literally cost you $0. And then also just find where your strengths are and then work enough to be able to just like only zone in on that and hire everything else out and trust that you'll be able to. It also puts a little bit more pressure. If you hire someone, you do kind of have to work a little bit harder to pay that person. So it does
Yeah.
amazing things for your business.
All right, Brandi, thank you for your time. Obviously, your time is, we spent this whole episode discussing time management, so we know that your time is valuable. So thank you for investing that with us, and I'm sure I will see you sooner, but for sure I'll see you later at the Platform Mastermind, where you will be speaking at actually later this year. And again, thank you again for joining us on the show, and everyone listening, we'll see you on the next episode of the Platform Marketing Show.
Thank you, Tim.